Gentlelady from Florida.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to yield myself such time as I may consume.
Gentlelady is recognized.
I thank the Speaker. And I rise in support of this resolution, House Resolution 1538, which condemns the deadly suicide attack that took place in Kampala, Uganda on July 11, 2010. In the past, some members have questioned the accuracy of reported links between Al-Qaeda and Shabaab insurgents. Some claim that it is operationally focused solely upon Somalia and thus poses no tangible threat to Americans, our allies, or our interests. Unfortunately, the attacks that rocked Uganda on July 11, 2010, provided indisputable evidence that those assumptions were dangerously wrong. Scores were killed, including an American who worked with the advocacy group Invisible Children. This senseless act of violence should serve as a wake-up call to U.S. officials on the need to vigorously address the threat of Islamist extremism wherever it lurks, which extends far beyond the Middle East. Many more lives are at stake. The 1998 East Africa embassy attacks exposed and the July 11th Kampala attacks affirmed that the United States cannot afford to ignore the activities of extremist groups in Africa as they attempt to expand their influence, to bolster their ranks, and spread their dangerous ideology. We must work vigilantly and cooperatively with other responsible nations to disrupt the operations of extremist groups and hold accountable their regional sponsors. Over 18 months ago, Mr. Speaker, I introduced a resolution, H-Con Res 16, which brings sorely needed attention to the threat of Islamic extremism in Africa. It is alarming that even after these tragic attacks, I have not been able to get the majority to agree to bring this resolution to the floor. I understand that Attorney General Holder is currently in Uganda attending the African Union Summit, attempting to impress upon the AU heads of state the imperative of confronting violent extremists on the continent. He is highlighting many of the issues that I have been attempting to address for a year and a half. Isn't it time for this body to take this threat seriously? So, Mr. Speaker, I ask my colleagues to consider H-Con Res 16 while supporting this important resolution before us, House Resolution 1538. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I reserve the balance of my time.
Gentlelady reserves. Gentlelady from Nevada.
Mr. Speaker, I yield as much time as